Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about craving connection. I mentioned this a couple of videos ago in my 14-day challenge. And today I had some things happen at my event that really kind of drove it home a little more for me. Um, so, earlier in the challenge, I talked about how people crave connection. Everybody has a unique story to tell, and everyone wants to be heard. These are two basic truths. I also mentioned that my education work experience is in social work. However, even before studying, I loved hearing people's stories. I imagined what people were doing, hearing, thinking, feeling when I would observe them in passing, whether it was maybe at the mall or restaurant or sitting across from them at church or something. I would think about, what is this person like? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? What's going on in their lives? Some of us are loud, oversharing types. We just blurt out whatever's going on. Others take longer to warm up and share after trust is established. And some, I would even say most people, fall in between the two and maybe even fluctuate between the two depending on what they need to share at the time. But no matter which kind of person you are, you also need to be ready to hear the other person's story. Some simple advice that many mothers teach their children is listen more than you speak and don't interrupt. I think these are the two biggest factors in listening to another person's story and making sure that they feel valued and heard. Treasure that person's story as if it's a rare, valuable object that you've been entrusted with, not as a tool for personal gain so that you can slander or gossip about them. Use it as an opportunity to encourage them and walk with them in their journey. Rejoice with them when they have victories and sympathize with them when they're going through a hard time. And sympathize is not, I could have done that better, or I told you this would happen. It's not offering, better than you advice. It's really trying to put yourself in what they're going through. And don't give advice unless you're asked. So what brought this up? Like I said, I was doing a vendor show, and I love working at shows. While the money opportunity helps my family out, that's really not the most rewarding reason or result that I go to the shows for. We've often said that there's usually at least one person that's at that event that I am there for, in order to bless them, in order to hear their story, in order to be there for them in some way, to be part of their journey for this small amount of time. There's so many examples I could give. Like one of the first events that I did, I met a woman who, her sister had cancer. And before her sister had cancer, her hair was as long and thick as mine is now. That first show, my hair was not this long. But she was telling me about her sister, and she was crying. And we were crying because she was telling us about her sister had lost all of her hair, and she just would not leave her house. But the clips reminded her of her sister. And I said, well, would she wear a head cover? And she says, I don't know, because she's never left the house yet, but I want to get her one anyway. And so that's what she did. But I got to be part of this small piece of her life that was really heavy on her heart that day. I've met women who are going through horrible separations, struggling in being a single mom. They'd had support all their lives, and then all of a sudden they're doing it alone. And I've watched as they get to fall in love again and be happy again. And I've been a part of that all through just meeting them at a show. One of my favorite events that I do is actually a military spouse event. It's put on by the Spouses Club. And I love that because I was a military spouse for 9 years. And so I really can empathize and relate to what these women are going through when they're going through deployments or being pregnant without their spouse being there. Yeah, every time I got pregnant, my husband left. Um, lots of fun. But, I get to bless them in some way. And today I was reminded of that again in an even bigger way because it was just maybe just the timing of it. I met this girl who she picked up one of our clips that has the I love you sign on it. And she says, my niece uses sign language. I clarified that. She says, well, she failed her hearing test when she was born. And so my sister immediately started learning sign language. My sister now interprets at the college for the students who are deaf and need interpreters. And we've all started learning sign language so that we can communicate with her. And it was just really, really cool that I actually had a couple of those clips on my table because they sold out very fast online. And that it was something that she could get for her niece to bless her and pay it forward. So all that to say that people's stories matter. And I'm reminded because we watch Doctor Who, like I've also mentioned in some of my videos. And one of the things that both the 10th and 11th Doctor say, actually, but the 11th Doctor says it a couple more times. He says, we're all just stories in the end, so make it a good one. So I want to challenge you not only to make your story a good one, but to be sure you're listening to the stories that other people have to tell. And if you are craving connection, I would love to chat with you about some things that have helped me when I've needed connection. So if you can shoot me a message if that's something that you're interested in, I'll be glad to talk with you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.